Our first hands-on involves unit testing a function. So you are going to be creating a function that accepts two parameters, a city name and a country name. And the function needs to return a string with city, comma, country. Okay, and you should store that in a file called city_functions. Then you are going to create a unit test for it. However, before you do that, you may find it useful to create a little program that uses the function. Because you're first learning, if you create a little program like this, you can just verify that your function is working correctly. Okay. And that is kind of what your unit test is supposed to do. But because you're new to unit testing, um, if your unit test fails, it could be because you miscoded something in the unit test. Might not have anything to do with the function. So if you actually create this little program that uses the function, then when you create the unit test, if there are any problems, you can be assured that the problem is a coding issue in the unit test itself. Okay, so until you guys are familiar with unit tests, I do think that that is a good idea. But test cities is going to be the unit test for the city function that you just wrote. And so this is going to be set up really similar to the example that is in the book. Okay, so the example in the book is formatting first and last name, and you are going to be formatting city and country. Okay, so this first exercise, I really don't think you're going to have any issues with it. Okay, so that is what you're going to start with. And then, let's see, we've got city functions, we have test cities. Okay, and then inside test cities, it is telling you to do a method called test city country. Okay, I actually don't care what you call the method as long as you're doing the unit test. Part two of this, you are going to modify the function so it requires a third parameter population. And it's now going to return a single value string in the form of city, country, dash, population, XXX. So I would make population a string. That way you can actually, because you're not going to do any calculation with it. That way, you can put commas in it and you can make it a little bit more user friendly. That's how I did mine, but it's up to you what you want to do. And you can see that in my test program, I did indeed test population, and I did not convert it into a number. I just left it as a string. So you will have a third parameter population, which you can make optional. So you could set it to blanks, just like middle name is set to blanks in the example in the book. Okay, and then you're going to want to make sure that the program works if you don't pass it a population and if you do pass it a population. So the method that you originally have in test cities should still be able to work. And then you're going to want to create another test method where you're passing it the city, the country, and the population. So this is just almost identical to the example in the book with the first name, last name, and middle name. Okay, so that is the first hands-on.